Hello guys, it's your girl Ameze back with another exciting episode, and today the topic is there are no faithful men. Okay, it might sound like I'm bashing men, but actually I'm not. A lot of the videos that I do are based off of the premise of the movie I Got Your Back, a movie I produced and directed. If you haven't seen it, please go ahead. It's also on this channel. It's called I Got Your Back, IGYB, the official movie. Go ahead and watch it. It's about this married couple who had a friend of theirs come live with them, and things started to happen. A lot of the things that happened will be blamed on the man, the friend, or the wife. All three of them, I promise you, had equal share of the blame. So some school of thought supported the man, some supported the wife, and some supported the friend. So having said that, so one of the questions that was raised is that, oh God, there are no faithful men, no matter what. They're like dogs. You throw them a bone and they're going to just latch onto it. So here we are. Are there any faithful men out there? Can a woman strip in front of you naked and you won't budge because you have vows with your wife? You've promised your girlfriend to be faithful to her. Would you be tempted? I did speak to men. I did, because they're the ones being targeted in this topic. And I spoke to women. A lot of women believe that men cannot be trusted. They're not faithful. Do not put your faith in them. And you have some other women who think that that's not necessarily the case. Some women really, really trust their men, and they cannot be budged from their thoughts. And I did speak to men who felt, owned up to it, that no, you can't trust me. I see a girl, I fancy her, I'm probably going to go for her. A naked woman in front of me, Lord help me. I'm probably going to act on my impulse. Men can help themselves. Is that really the excuse? People told me this. Men told me this. Some didn't trust themselves. I respect men like that because, they're keeping it real. And that's what this one in particular said. Is like, I'm keeping it real. My girlfriend knows. And I tell her, he's actually married now. It's like I tell her, don't bring your pretty friends around me. You never know what I'm going to do. That part I don't understand, but it works for them, to each his own. I like the part that he's truthful, but that whole thing of having to make the woman now be the one acting as the police, I'm not so keen on that. So what's your thought on it? Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Are men faithful? Can they be trusted to be faithful? There is a topic, or there's a school of thought that believe all men are pedophiles. The only reason stopping men from sleeping with their daughters is because it's a crime. If it wasn't a crime, they probably will sleep with their daughters. Now, there are men who are already doing that. Yeah, we know, the sick ones. Are they sick? Well, the general consensus is they are sick. If you're sleeping with your daughter, or you're thinking of her that way, just keep it to yourself, okay? Just pray about it and keep it to yourself. Do not share it, not even with your psychiatrist. That's sick. Anyway, so back to this topic. On I Got Your Back, the movie, Andy, the man in question, the married man, could not resist the temptation. There are two movies, there's some videos I'm going to be referring to which I've done, and one was actually talking about men dating married men, what's wrong with dating married men, and there was also another one about, I'll put it in somewhere on the video, you'll see it, where also it talks about men being a certain way with their women. They are free to act with their women. If you're wifey material, then there's certain things they're not open to doing with you. And they're more open and more fluid, if you will, when it's a girl they don't really care about. I don't understand that thinking. So I'm curious to hear from you guys, okay? You, the men folk. what your thought is on that. What is the difference between a wifey and a girlfriend, someone you're just hanging with? Why is it okay to be freer with a girl you're just hanging out with and you're just shacking up with, or you don't see her as being permanent? How is it it's okay to do things with her as opposed to doing things with your wife? Because I think a lot of women, well, I shouldn't speak for all women. I'm not speaking for all women. But I think when you have a partner, you should be open to experimenting and going on adventures with them. Then you probably won't have all those intimacy problems you have. But anyway, the question in this episode is, are men faithful? Are there any faithful men out there? Are there men who would actually keep to their vows? Till death do us part, or till this relationship end. I'm never going to see another woman. I'm never going to sleep with another woman. I'm not going to flirt with another woman. I'm going to be faithful to you. Are there any men out there with real blood in their veins? Real men who can actually resist temptation. Men with the advent of cell phones and all this technology, it's like a buffet table, okay? There are many red flags. A man married to his phone. There's so many viral videos and jokes out there about men who hyperventilate when they're parted from their cell phones, okay? They can't breathe. They just think that, oh my God, because again, they get into things on their cell phones that they don't want their partners knowing. And this includes married and single men, okay? It involves men who have promised to be faithful with their women or to their women, and they get involved in all kinds of things online. This is a general consensus. Women talk about this and men talk about this. What is it about men and their cell phones? What is it about men and their laptops? Men are so tempted these days, they can't resist. Really? Now, this is my thing. Do you think women are not tempted? As much access you have to all these things, whether on websites, online, wherever you go to get your phone, women equally have access. But women have just decided not to act on it. So why is it okay for a man to act on it? Some men argue, well, we're very visual. When we see the cleavage or the shape of a woman or her legs or just the curve of her back or her backside, it gets us thinking. Well, I totally understand that. There are women that are visual too. And there are men who walk about also looking like big hunks of meat. But my thing is, why is it okay for men to cheat or be unfaithful and they get a pass? I remember a video I had before this. It was about pastors who, some people actually blamed the wife for not praying hard enough, because these pastors get tempted. Those girls who sleep with the pastors are the ones tempting them. And I'm thinking, well, that's totally not fair. He's the one who made the vow. He's the married one. He's the pastor with a higher calling. Now, don't get me wrong. He's not God. I know he does get tempted. But what I'm saying is faithfulness. When you are in a committed relationship, why don't you commit to it? Why do people think it's okay for a man? It's tougher for a man to be faithful. Really? Do you agree with that? So hence the question. And I go to back the movie. Andy was tempted. Now, before Amaka came into the picture, he seemed like the perfect husband. I tell you, he doted on his wife. He was so involved in his job. He's the medical director of his company. And he seemed to just be doing everything right. And then this woman came and little lies here and there, and he just crumbled. And it wasn't as if he wasn't having a good sex life with his wife. They actually had a great relationship. So what is the problem? And sometimes you find, and this happens because the women I talked to said this, sometimes you find that the woman the man is actually unfaithful with is not even as pretty, as smart, as successful as his wife or partner. So what is it? Are there any faithful men out there? Man, I need you to step up. Tell me what makes you faithful. How is it possible? How can a man fight the temptation of women? People believe there are no faithful men out there. Tempt them enough, they're going to fall. They're going to fall. Doesn't matter what they tell you. There was a friend of mine some time ago. She was engaged to this guy. They were planning to get married. Date set, everything. And he went on Facebook. And he started to chat with this person and promised to actually marry this person. And she found out. She happened upon him while he was on his laptop. And he was FaceTiming this other girl, FaceTime or Facebook time, whatever it's called. And she was shocked. It shook the relationship, but they went ahead anyway. They got married. But my thing is, dude, what was that about? Well, he's not the only one, though. A man would have everything going for him. He's got a beautiful wife. He's happy in his home. Great kids. Food on the table. Great sex. And he still has a life online. It's undoing a lot of relationships. Relationships are coming unhinged because the men get found out. Why do you do it? Why are you unfaithful? There are other ways to deal with your insecurities. A woman has insecurities, for crying out loud. You don't see her jumping the next man she comes across. And women are visual too. Please don't tell me women are not, men are visual and women. No, women get a visual. They are good looking men, but you've made that commitment to be with this man come what may. I'm not saying all men are unfaithful. I'm just saying, this is the word out there. Is there a faithful man? Can we trust any man to not be moved or budge at the sight of a beautiful woman? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder anyway. So what do you find beautiful? It's probably not what he finds beautiful. Who knows what man thinks? And then they go on to justify it. I love you, baby. You're my number one. She was just a plaything. Oh, okay. Are you okay with me having a plaything too? Can you be my number one and I can have playthings? This is the question. Why are men unfaithful? Andy in I Got Your Back, the movie, was a good husband. And then he faced temptation. And he fell. And he fell hard. Is it worth it? A lot of women think, you can't find a faithful man, please. Men will always fall. Every time. Are there men out there who can prove them wrong? Are there women out there who can prove them wrong? Who trust their husbands, their boyfriends, their fiancé, their partners so much that they will vouch for them? Can you vouch for a man to be faithful? That's the question. I want to hear from you. Leave your comments below. Share this video. I'm interested to have this chat with you. Can men be faithful? Are there any faithful men out there? Let me hear from you. So that's it for this episode. Until I come your way again, please be good to yourself. Love yourself. Take care.